Welcome back. Our first conversation this morning is with the filmmaker of a film that, in my estimation, takes a very, very hard look at what environmental damage is, both to our Earth and to those of us who populate this Earth, those who try to do the right thing, and those who are looking for opportunity wherever they can find it. The film from the fracking fields of North Dakota is called The Overnighters. The filmmaker is Jesse Moss. Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
If you would first give a short synopsis of the scene, the film, and your principal characters.
Okay. So the story is set in the North Dakota oil field in a frontier boom town called Williston. And there are thousands and thousands of men who've poured in there to look for work. And the problem is there's no place to sleep. And the story of The Overnighters is about a Lutheran pastor who opens the doors of his church to let some of these men sleep there. And he gradually becomes more and more involved in their lives. So the film is really about what it means to love thy neighbor, and his neighbor being these men who have come there looking for economic opportunity.
I've heard this tale that in some ways kind of feels to me like, I don't know, urban legend isn't the right way to put it, but in terms of over the sweep of history, people who will almost blindly follow an idea of opportunity to take a journey, both literal and metaphorical, to a particular place, to a location, in order to hope that six-figure salary, I think I read in one of the reviews and expositions on the film, that if we, any of these fellows included, really, I suppose, had some dialogue about it, they would have to say, well, that's a bit of a pipe dream, and yet they come and they come. Talk about your inspiration to make the kind of commitment, both of time and of your heart and soul, to this film, in staying with the story over a very long period of time.
Well, you're right, that this really is the timeless American journey of heading west to the frontier, looking for opportunity and believing that if you make it to that place that you will find what you're looking for. You know, for many of the men who come there, they're looking to reinvent themselves. And these are men who are holding on to the last rung of the ladder in their lives. And they're really quite desperate. And that's what drew me to their stories and the pastor's conviction in helping them. For me, it was something of a journey, too, going to this frontier boom town and not knowing what I would find. Finding this pastor who was so, and he and I come from very different places in the world, but finding in his dedication, I guess almost obsession, a story that drew me into this huge story of the oil field, which is kind of monumental. But I wanted to find the kind of human level drama that I think is often missed in the big story. You know, what were the prices that people were paying to make this journey? What price did the community pay to accept these men? And so for me, the film became a real journey to this extraordinary place. And I actually slept in the church for about 6 months as I started to make the film, because I needed a place to stay, frankly. And so it became a journey for me, and a journey in which I didn't know how the story would end, but I was going to follow this man and this place, and hopefully it would bring me inside this huge story, but in a very human way.
Let's take a look at the clip. The Overnighters. I'm often so deeply interested in the personal journey that a filmmaker takes in this process, living time with these people. Talk about your feeling about love thy neighbor and about the outcome in terms of the difficulty of Concordia Lutheran Church trying to embody the teachings of Jesus Christ, and also wanting to close and be safe and away from fear.
Well, that's what immediately struck me about Pastor Jay Reinke. Here was this man who was trying to live the Christian ethic, to love thy neighbor. And he was putting it into practice. He wasn't just preaching it.
Yes.
And that decision really split his congregation in a way that was really illuminating to me, that they were wrestling with this central question that I think all of us, whether we're Christian or not Christian, wherever we come from, we wrestle with that moral choice of how do we help people and what's the price we pay for doing that. And the fact that those choices are never easy. And so for the pastor to help these men to love his neighbor, these men with criminal records, these desperate men who bring their problems, that puts him in conflict with his congregation, his neighbors, his community, and ultimately his own family. And that struggle for him as a man, I thought would speak to all of us in the choices we face in our own lives. And in a country that's split by social inequality, we ask ourselves every day, what can I do for people who need opportunity? And I thought, here's a man who's really wrestling with this question.
And I would imagine the loneliness of a person who can't see a path other than the one that he is walking into. Jesse, final question, and this is something that, again, I think about every filmmaker who takes a journey like you have and shared this story with us here at the festival and beyond. What happens when you're done with photography, you're done shooting? How do you, I hate to say move beyond, I don't imagine you can ever move beyond these people, this story, but how do you move forward, I guess maybe is the right way to put it, after filming, after editing, after being at a film festival? Well,
you know, I really made the film to have a conversation about these questions, and I think the power of the film is it doesn't present easy answers. It presents the complexity of life in this place and the life in this country in this moment without providing easy binary answers. And that's the questions that we've been leaving audiences with here at Sundance, and hopefully for the next year we'll go out with a film and with the pastor himself, Jay Reinke now, who will join us, and we'll have this conversation, and knowing that I can look forward to that, I guess that's what keeps me going, and that's why I made the film.
Well, the courage of Jay Reinke, photographed with your courage, is a great inspiration to me.
Thank you.
And we thank you for being here. You have one more screening?
I have a screening tonight at Redstone, so if people are interested, they can come out, and I'll do my best to get them in the show. Yeah.
And what time is tonight's showing?
At 9:30 at Redstone.
9:30 at Redstone. Jesse Moss.
Terry,
thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
so nice to meet you. Congratulations on a beautiful film. Congratulations on being at the Sundance Film Festival, and best wishes forward.
Thank you.
Filmmaker Jesse Moss. The film is The Overnighters. Tonight at Redstone at 9:30. Next up, The Sleepwalker with the titular actress Stephanie Ellis. We'll be right back after this. Please stay tuned.